For most of human history, the universe seemed simple. The sky was the sky, the stars were fixed, and reality was something solid, dependable, and unchanging. But the deeper science has peered into the cosmos, the more fragile that illusion has become. What we call reality is not firm ground beneath our feet. It is a delicate framework, riddled with cracks, stitched together by forces we barely understand. Modern physics has revealed a universe that is not neat and ordered, but unstable. Matter itself is mostly empty space. The forces that hold atoms together are balanced on a knife's edge, so precise that a fraction of change would unravel everything. Dark matter and dark energy, unseen, mysterious forces, make up 95% of the cosmos, yet we cannot explain what they are. Worse still, our laws of physics do not even agree with each other. The rules that govern the very large, relativity, and the rules that govern the very small, quantum mechanics, contradict each other at the deepest levels. It is as if the universe is running on two different sets of codes that refuse to match. What does that mean? It means the universe may not be as stable as we believe. The cracks are there, hidden in equations and cosmic observations. And if those cracks widen, reality itself may collapse. We are living in a broken universe, and it is worse than you think. The dark energy problem in 1998, astronomers made a discovery so shocking that it shook the foundations of cosmology. By studying distant supernovae, they found that the expansion of the universe is not slowing down, it is accelerating. Something is pushing galaxies apart with ever-increasing speed. That something is called dark energy. But here is the problem: dark energy should not exist. The equations that describe quantum fields predict a vacuum energy trillions of times stronger than what we observe. To make the math work, physicists are forced to fine-tune the numbers to absurd precision. This is known as the cosmological constant problem, and it is one of the greatest mysteries in science. The universe behaves as though it is delicately balanced, as if some hidden force is carefully adjusted to keep everything from tearing apart instantly. But there is no explanation for why. It is as if the universe is broken at the foundation, patched together by invisible rules that make no logical sense. Joe Rogan once described it in simple terms during a conversation with a physicist. It's like the whole thing is a simulation running on glitchy software. And that is not far from the truth. If dark energy shifts even slightly, the universe could collapse or expand so violently that stars, galaxies, and life itself would be erased. The fact that we are here at all may be proof of a cosmic accident, or of something manipulating the balance. Either way, it suggests we live in a universe that should not exist. The Matter-Antimatter Anomaly, another crack in the universe, lies at the very beginning. According to physics, the Big Bang should have created equal amounts of matter and antimatter. But if that had happened, the two would have annihilated each other, leaving behind nothing but radiation. Instead, somehow, there was a tiny imbalance. One extra particle of matter for every billion pairs of matter and antimatter. That tiny fraction is why you exist, why stars burn, and why galaxies form. The question is why. Physicists have searched for decades for a reason. They have tested particles in massive accelerators, looking for the slightest asymmetry, the faintest clue. But the results are inconclusive. The fact remains we should not be here. The universe cheated its own rules at birth. Some scientists suggest that this imbalance may be evidence of hidden physics, forces or dimensions we cannot yet perceive. Others speculate that our universe is just one of many, and only in this one did the math break in a way that allowed life. To Rogan's audience, the conclusion is unsettling. The very fact of existence is a cosmic glitch. We live because the universe broke its own symmetry. Without that break, there would be no stars, no Earth, and no us. It is one more reminder that the foundation of reality is not solid stone. It is fractured glass, and we are standing on top of it. The death of heat and light. If the cracks in the universe are not terrifying enough, Consider its future. Cosmologists believe that if the laws of physics remain unchanged, the universe is doomed to a slow, inevitable death. As stars burn their fuel, fewer will form. Galaxies will drift farther apart until night skies become black voids with only a handful of dying suns. Trillions of years from now, black holes will swallow the last remnants of matter before evaporating themselves into nothing. Eventually, the universe will reach maximum entropy, a state known as heat death, where no energy remains to fuel stars, life, or thought. This is not a doomsday you can escape. It is baked into the very laws of thermodynamics. Energy spreads out, order decays, and the universe drifts toward silence. We are living in a universe that is not built to last. Rogan once remarked on this idea with unease. So everything, no matter what we do, ends in nothing. And physicists answered yes. That is the natural trajectory. But there is something worse. If the balance of dark energy shifts, or if quantum instability at the heart of matter triggers collapse, the universe might not even make it that far. Instead of a slow death, reality itself could unravel in an instant, faster than light, leaving no trace we ever existed. The universe is not just broken, it is doomed. Quantum reality's fractured core, at the smallest scales, the universe breaks apart even further. Quantum mechanics describes a world where particles pop in and out of existence, where objects can be in two places at once, and where reality itself only chooses an outcome when observed. Physicists admit they do not truly understand why this happens. The equations work, but the meaning is elusive. Some interpretations suggest every quantum event splits reality into multiple universes, each carrying a different outcome. Others imply that reality is fundamentally random, a cosmic dice game without reason or order. This is not just abstract philosophy. It means the ground beneath your feet is built on rules that defy common sense. Your very existence depends on quantum probabilities balanced on the edge of chaos. Joe Rogan has compared it to a game engine with broken physics it runs, but every now and then the glitches show. And the closer we look, the more we see the glitches everywhere. The unsettling truth is this: the universe is not neat, logical, or stable. It is fractured at its core, patched together by broken rules. And if those rules ever fail, everything we know disappears with them. The fine-tuning problem. One of the most unsettling cracks in reality is the fine-tuning problem. The universe seems designed with extraordinary precision, yet there is no logical reason it should be this way. The strength of gravity, the charge of the electron, the speed of light. Every constant in physics is set at a value so exact that if it shifted by even the tiniest fraction, stars could not form, chemistry would collapse, and life would be impossible. This problem has haunted physicists for decades. Why does the universe balance on a razor's edge when chaos would be far more likely? Some argue it is simply chance, a cosmic lottery we happen to win. Others believe there may be deeper laws of physics we have not yet discovered. But the disturbing possibility remains. There is no reason for the universe to work at all. Joe Rogan has often compared it to walking into a casino and seeing someone win the jackpot 1,000 times in a row. It is technically possible, but so improbable that it demands an explanation. The fine-tuning of the universe is either the most astonishing coincidence in history, or evidence that something has tampered with reality to make it possible. Either way, it suggests the universe is not a stable, natural order. It is a broken system that somehow stumbled into balance, and it could stumble out of it just as easily. The multiverse hypothesis. To escape the fine-tuning problem, many scientists turn to the multiverse hypothesis. If there are countless universes, each with different physical constants, then our broken reality begins to make sense. Most universes would be unstable and barren, collapsing instantly or expanding too fast for stars to form. But in a few rare cases, the numbers would line up just right. We live in one of those rare universes simply because it is the only kind where life can exist. On the surface, this solves the mystery, but it also creates new terrors. If there are infinite universes, then infinite broken versions of reality exist. Somewhere, there are universes where stars never ignite, where galaxies collapse instantly, or where physics itself tears apart in endless chaos. Rogan has often pointed out the eerie implications. If the multiverse is real, then reality is not special. It is not designed. It is just one accidental bubble in a sea of infinite failures. That makes our existence less miraculous, but more fragile. Worse, we may never prove the multiverse. It lies beyond observation, forever out of reach. That means we live in a universe that feels broken and inexplicable, and the best explanation may be a theory we can never confirm. The threat of vacuum decay. Among all the cracks in reality, perhaps the most terrifying is the threat of vacuum decay. At the heart of quantum physics lies the idea that our universe may not be in its most stable state. Instead, we may live in a false vacuum, a temporary bubble of stability that could collapse without warning. If that collapse occurs, a bubble of true vacuum would form somewhere in the universe and expand at the speed of light, erasing everything in its path. Atoms would unravel, stars would vanish, and no signal or warning could outrun it. One moment you are alive, the next you are gone, as if the universe never existed. Physicists cannot say when, or if, this will happen. It could occur 1 trillion years from now, or it could already be expanding toward us, unstoppable and invisible. Rogan has described it as the ultimate nightmare. You would never see it coming. The universe just shuts off. The threat of vacuum decay shows us that the universe is not solid ground. It is fragile, temporary, and possibly already doomed. Simulation or glitch. The broken nature of the universe has led some to a radical idea. What if this is not a natural cosmos at all, but a simulation? The fine tuning of constants, the contradictions in physics, and the quantum randomness, all could be evidence of a system built on code, a program running with errors. Rogan has entertained this theory many times. If reality is a simulation, then the cracks we see, dark energy, quantum anomalies, impossible coincidences, are not mysteries of physics. They are glitches in the code. Scientists like Nick Bostrom argue that advanced civilizations may one day simulate entire universes. If that is possible, then statistically, it is more likely that we are inside one of those simulations than in the original reality. The laws of physics, then, are not laws at all. They are rules written into the software, and sometimes those rules collide in ways that make no sense. The simulation hypothesis is both comforting and terrifying. Comforting, because glitches can be patched. Terrifying, because if we are in a simulation, then someone, or something, may decide to shut it off. The universe is not just broken. It may be running on borrowed time, living on the edge of collapse. All of these cracks, dark energy, fine-tuning, antimatter imbalance, vacuum decay, and the possibility of simulation, lead to one conclusion: we are living in a fragile, broken universe. Every day, we move through a reality held together by forces we do not understand, balanced on equations that should not work, inside a cosmos that is more chaos than order. The disturbing truth is that we may not even notice when it ends. Vacuum decay could erase us in an instant. Dark energy could tear galaxies apart until we are left in darkness. Or the simulation running our reality could simply glitch beyond repair. Rogan often captures this unease with simple words. It feels like we're not supposed to be here. And maybe we are not. Maybe existence itself is the greatest mistake of all, a cosmic error still unfolding. We live on borrowed time in a universe that is broken at its core. The cracks are widening. And it is worse than you think. Scars in the cosmic background. When astronomers look at the oldest light in the universe, the cosmic microwave background, they expect to see smooth, random patterns left behind by the Big Bang. And for the most part they do. But hidden in that ancient glow are scars, strange cold spots, unexplained alignments, and anomalies that should not exist. One of the most puzzling is known as the cold spot, a vast region of space much cooler than its surroundings. Standard physics struggles to explain it. Some scientists think it may be the imprint of another universe brushing against ours, a scar left from a collision between realities. Others suggest it is evidence of flaws in the very fabric of space-time. Joe Rogan has described these anomalies as fingerprints of something messing with the code. If the cosmic background is the universe's birth certificate, then these scars show it was not born cleanly, it was born broken. The unsettling implication is that the universe carries the evidence of its flaws across billions of years. We are not just living in a broken system now. We have always been living in one, and the scars in the cosmic background are silent reminders that something is deeply wrong with reality itself. Black holes, the universe's fatal errors. If you want proof the universe is unstable, look no further than black holes. These monsters are cosmic paradoxes, regions where matter collapses into infinite density and the laws of physics themselves stop working. Einstein's relativity predicts their existence and observations confirm them. Yet at their core lies the singularity, a point where space-time folds in on itself, where equations break down into nonsense. Quantum mechanics cannot describe it, relativity cannot fix it, and the two theories crash against each other like waves on jagged rocks. Physicists admit they have no idea what truly happens inside a black hole. Some believe it is a tear in the fabric of the universe, a place where information is destroyed. Others argue information must survive, encoded on the event horizon, but no one can prove it. Rogan once asked a physicist, "So it's like the universe has bugs built into it?" The answer was yes. Black holes are the bugs. They are fatal errors written into reality, contradictions that cannot be resolved. And the most terrifying part, black holes are everywhere. Millions of them drift silently through the galaxy, reminders that the universe has cracks so deep they swallow light itself. The paradox of time, another fracture in reality, lies in the very thing we take for granted every second: time. To us, time feels like a river flowing forward from past to future. But physics paints a far stranger picture. Einstein's relativity shows that time is not constant. It stretches, bends, and slows depending on gravity and speed. A clock on Earth ticks differently than a clock on a spaceship traveling near light speed. Time is not absolute, it is fragile. Quantum mechanics complicates things further. At the smallest scales, particles behave in ways that suggest the past and future are not strictly separate. Some interpretations imply that events in the present can influence the past, a violation of everything we believe about cause and effect. Joe Rogan has often mused about the bizarre nature of time, asking whether we are simply trapped in an illusion. If time is not fundamental, then our perception of reality may be little more than a trick of broken physics. The paradox of time reveals that the universe is not a solid machine ticking forward. It is a fractured system where even the flow of existence cannot be trusted. When laws of reality fail, the most unsettling possibility of all is that the laws of physics themselves are not eternal. We treat them as unbreakable. But what if they are not? What if the laws we rely on are only temporary guidelines in a broken system? Rules that could fail one day without warning. Some physicists already suspect this. Constants like the fine structure constant or the speed of light may not be truly constant. Tiny variations have been observed, hinting that the laws may shift over time. If those changes continue, the consequences would be catastrophic. Chemistry would fail, stars would collapse, and reality itself would lose its coherence. Rogan once joked that it would be like living in a video game when the programmers stop updating the rules. Suddenly, the physics engine glitches, and the world falls apart. This is not just a thought experiment. If the laws of physics are shifting, it means the universe is not a perfect design. It is an unstable system running on temporary code. And if that code fails completely, everything we know could vanish. We like to believe reality is permanent, but the truth may be that we are living on borrowed time in a cosmos whose rules are already breaking down. The human place in a broken cosmos. Humanity has always searched for meaning in the stars. We built myths to explain the heavens, crafted religions to give order to chaos, and developed science to uncover rules we could rely on. For a long time, it seemed we were peeling back layers of mystery to reveal a stable foundation beneath. But as discoveries pile up, the opposite has become true. The more we learn, the less stable reality seems. The cosmos is not a clockwork masterpiece. It is fragile, contradictory, and dangerously close to breaking. Joe Rogan has often summarized this in stark words. It feels like we're just clinging to something that isn't supposed to work. And that is exactly what science suggests. Our very existence depends on cracks in symmetry, constants balanced at impossible precision, and forces that contradict themselves. We live only because the universe is broken in just the right ways to permit life. This realization changes our place in the cosmos. We are not passengers carried along by a safe and ordered system. We are survivors balanced on a razor's edge inside a structure riddled with flaws. Every sunrise, every star in the sky is a reminder of how improbable it is that anything exists at all. Our place in this broken cosmos is not one of certainty. It is one of the fragile luck. We live in a system that could collapse at any moment, yet here we are, conscious beings staring into the cracks and daring to ask why. The looming collapse. The universe is not merely cracked in theory. Its fractures point toward a very real and inevitable collapse. Physics does not paint a picture of eternal survival. It paints a picture of endings. One possible ending is the Big Rip, in which dark energy grows so strong that galaxies, stars, and even atoms are torn apart. Another is vacuum decay, where the false stability of our universe gives way, and a bubble of true vacuum expands at the speed of light, erasing everything in its path instantly. A third possibility is the heat death of the universe, where entropy spreads so evenly that nothing remains but cold silence. No stars, no planets, no thought. The most terrifying truth is that we cannot know which ending is waiting, or when it will arrive. The collapse could be trillions of years away, long after humanity has vanished. Or it could already be unfolding at the quantum level, rushing toward us faster than any warning could ever travel. Rogan has compared this to living in a house with termites gnawing at the foundation. From the outside, the walls look strong, but inside, the structure is already crumbling. Sooner or later, it will fall. That is the nature of our universe. Majestic, yes, but fatally flawed, destined to fail. It is not a matter of if. It is only a matter of how and when. The unfinished mystery. Even with all these cracks, the most haunting question remains why. Why does a broken universe exist at all? Why does it cling together long enough for stars and life to emerge, only to doom itself with collapse? Physicists cannot agree. Some suggest we live in one of countless universes, a statistical accident in a multiverse filled with failures. Others believe the fine-tuning of our broken reality points to design, whether by natural principles we do not yet understand, by a simulation, or by something beyond comprehension. What unsettles us most is the paradox. Every discovery raises more questions. Each answer deepens the mystery. We are explorers, trapped in a system that may never reveal its secrets, forced to build meaning inside a cosmos that itself seems meaningless. Joe Rogan once remarked, "The more you find out, the less it makes sense." That may be the only truth. The deeper we look, the more the universe resembles shifting sand, not solid ground. And yet, those cracks are the very reason we exist. If the cosmos were perfect, if symmetry held, there would be no stars, no chemistry, and no life. Brokenness is not a flaw. It is the condition that makes us possible. Perhaps that is the final lesson. The universe is broken, but so are we. And in that brokenness lies the miracle of existence itself. So where does this leave us? The picture painted by science is not of a universe that is stable, safe, or permanent. It is a universe full of fractures. Dark energy pushes galaxies apart with no explanation. Matter and antimatter do not balance as they should. Black holes devour the very rules of physics. Time bends and warps, refusing to flow as we expect. Even the constants of nature may not be constant at all. And yet, here we are. Against all odds, life emerged inside this broken reality, clinging to a thin thread of order in a cosmos that should have collapsed long ago. Perhaps that is the greatest mystery of all. Not that the universe is unstable, but that it has remained intact long enough for us to ask these questions. Joe Rogan often says that the deeper you look, the less sense it makes. And maybe that is the true message. The universe is not neat. It is not built for comfort. It is unstable, cracked, and doomed to fail. But those very cracks are what allowed stars, planets, and consciousness to exist. We live in a broken universe. And instead of despairing, perhaps we should see it for what it is, proof that even imperfection can give birth to something miraculous. The mystery is unfinished. And maybe that is the point.